Hello girls, how you doing? Let's do another pick a card. Yes, a little bit of red here because, well, we did beat Wales yesterday. Just wanted to have a little thought for Wales, but sorry, but we had to do it, right? Anyway, it was an amazing rugby match. If you, well, maybe you don't care about that because you want tarot, right? Okay, so today is going to be what would they have done differently? I wrote it down because I was like, okay, that could be interesting, that could be fascinating. So let's go for it. Enough blah blah, Axelle. I know, but you know. Okay, so pile 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, so what would they have done differently? Pile number 1. 10 of sword, 8 of sword, 8 of pentacle. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Well, the main thing is, I mean, obviously it's the end of suffering here. So maybe they would have ended the suffering a bit quicker and not having to go through 10 sword. Yes, that could have been probably a good idea. However, what they would have done differently is obviously not limiting themselves in their own mind. And that's what they think they've done. They kind of self-sabotage themselves, limiting themselves for what they could achieve and what they couldn't. What kind of happiness or job or success they could have achieved. So what they could have done differently is remove those sword again. It's not a lot from the mind. The sword is all about the mind, and they would have just accept, okay, this is where I'm supposed to be, and remove what was in front of their eyes as well, and see the reality for what it was. What they would have done differently as well is to actually work on the situation a bit more, maybe learning a different way, in different perspective, learning new skills, new tools, keeping an open door and an open mind, again, very much. And also what they could have done differently is to see long term, because it's all about pentacle here. So learning new skills, maybe opening their mind to a new way of thinking, a new mindset, an idea of maybe speaking a different language altogether, and just make it work because it was worth working on. Of course, let's not forget, when you have 8 is an infinity number, so it feels to me that there's no ending really between you two, or maybe the situation, if it's about business, is not the end of it. Okay, as well, after the 10 of sword, what you have automatically an ace of sword, which means a brand new start, but this time with clarity. What do we want? What do we don't want? Okay, so what they could have done differently, they can maybe still work on it and make it happen. That's the optimistic in me. 2 of swords. Well, they do have to remove, those swords in front of their heart. They have to stop blocking. They have to open their eyes to the reality, to the truth of themselves. Maybe they have to make a choice between two. Yeah, that's what they could have done differently, but maybe that's what they still could do now. Yes, boom, here you have it. Mesmerizing. That is manifesting, absolutely. But also the magician is someone who maintains an illusion. Why? ¿Por qué? Wow, here you have it. Mamma mia. Because that person maybe, is two-faced and doesn't want to grow up. Maybe very much interested in having a bit of fun and then goodbye. Maybe attracted to you as, an object of desire, let's put it that way, but not really truly wanted to commit themselves to the relationship or commit themselves to the work. They want a little bit of both, of both worlds, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, but not really doing the work. Well, they wish they could have actually made a decision and not staying on the fence. I think there is a capacity here, potential of opening the heart, and instead of playing two-faced, really open the heart and be true to themselves. Because they have a lot of love potentially to give, they have a lot of energy to give to whatever, the job, the position, this project, whatever it is. They do, if they open up. All right, now we're talking. So yes, of course, there's a capacity, but they have to be connecting to the truth. The inner child That's what will bring the sun, the best card of the whole deck, the joy, the happiness, the fulfillment, definitely the fulfillment, and maybe connect with you at the level of truth, the heart, the inner child, and then, of course, the sky is the limit. So that's what they wish they would have done differently, but I do believe they could still do it. It's up to them, right? Interesting. So, pile number 2. Okay, what would they have done differently? That's the thing. 4 of Swords, 9 of Wands, 6 of Pentacles. There you have it. Well, what they would have done differently is to maybe pause, take a moment, and actually really work on the deeper issues. Do the healing. Have a pause, have a moment, recharge batteries, heal what needs to be healed, and not just, you guys, but also maybe, deeper wounds, maybe a previous relationship, maybe a previous experience altogether. It can also be connected to work. But also, and ultimately, it's about deeper issue, maybe in a childhood, some form of trauma, or maybe even ancestral. It's something what sometimes we carry within ourselves, and we need to just identify it. And maybe just asking yourself some questions, some simple question, and then of course the answer come, and then that can be released. Very close to the moon, actually. So they wish they've done differently, because they would have avoided so much hurdle, pain, argument, feisty, fiery, oh my god, you name it, okay? Because, well, that's what they could have done. They could have had really equal give and take. Maybe they didn't give you enough. They just took, and they didn't give anything back. Or they give too much and not receive enough, vice versa, no matter what. Maybe they would have not compromised so much. Maybe they compromised themselves, they forgot about themselves. Maybe they were, not being paid for their value. Maybe they just accept anything and everything. But what they could have done and say, hold on a minute. No, I don't want to be taken for granted. I want equal give and take. And they could have done that. When you have a 6 of Pentacles, it's very much an idea of love, because number 6, but also Pentacle is long term. They could do this. They could really get over those hurdles to make it difficult for themselves. Heal what needs to be healed. Either giving too much or not giving enough. Whatever the problem is, it's different for everybody. It's a general reading here, right? But the balance, that's what they should have been, focusing on. And they didn't. There's a lot of love here, though. Absolutely. And that goes very much with the number 6. So Ace of Cups is an enormous amount of love. What they could have done is to maybe appreciate that was pure love, that was a wonderful offer out of the blue from the universe, whatever the context is. And then that could have been actually balance a little bit more, because this is a tsunami completely. It's overwhelming. It's just something that gets to you and you just don't know how to deal with it. It's taking you by surprise. So maybe they could have maybe just like, okay, let's pause for a second, okay, let's just digest it. But they took a leap of faith. They took a leap of faith, and obviously they went for it. But maybe as well, they saw the love, and they made it very difficult for themselves. They actually put a lot of hurdle and obstacle, in front of themselves, when they could have just, okay, let's go, let's do this. And then they could have done that. But maybe they didn't. They could have done differently, that kind of like, okay, I'm throwing myself into this. Maybe they throw themselves too much and that create chaos, or maybe they didn't do that enough and that create, the end of the road or some drama. They're very much, the idea of being in a cave and absolutely appreciating, okay, I need to really go within, take a moment, male cave, woman cave, doesn't matter. It's taking a moment and understanding. Then they can come out, piano, one step at a time, and not, getting overexcited. It can go either way. Maybe they went too quickly, or maybe they didn't go for it. And that's either way, they didn't get it right. They still have the nostalgia of pure love, absolutely. They know, number 6 again, they know that is something they still believe in. They don't want to let it go. There's an idea of, celebrating. There's an idea of, having something to celebrate. And maybe that's just that reconnection, maybe getting engaged, maybe, for some ways working on the network as well and trying to figure out how to reapproach you. And that could also be on a professional level. Anyway, I think. So you have that intuition. And maybe they wish as well they were connecting to the intuition a little bit more. They would have listened to it a little bit more. Because, that would have removed a lot of drama, I think. So, yeah, I think there's an idea of brand new beginning, listening to the passion, the fire in the belly and going for it. There's an idea of like, maybe I should have just gone for it and I didn't. And now kind of play safe. And maybe they have the idea of really coming back and having that brand new start with a fire in the belly, because this is a brand new beginning. So I have the feeling they might just come back and do something about it. Okay, on this note, have a beautiful day. I'm gonna go and check the pizza because, hey, Sunday, pizza day. Okay, so made it myself, with love. Okay, I'll see you tomorrow. Mwah, ciao.